I want you off the fucking set, you prick.
What is that? What is violence?
All right, bitch ass shit. I'll fucking choke your fucking
What are you
face.
doing? Do you not talk to me?
Fuck you! I'm just trying to fucking help you. You understand?
No, I'm pretty far from okay, man.
Take it one fucking line at a time.
Yeah, I can't read it. There's no words on it.
I'm gonna fucking kick your fucking ass. You know, shut up for a second, all right?
Whatever it is, it's not right on teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
Yell at me.
Are you serious?
Let's not take a fucking minute. Let's go again.
I don't know what.
And let's not have you fucking walking in.
Do it live.
Who said that?
I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay, so we're here with Laura Abramsen, who you would recognize from a movie called Supergrid, or a movie called Wolf Cop, or what else?
Basic Human Needs.
Basic Human
If
Needs.
you watch terrible indie movies.
Okay. Which I assume you do. And yeah, we just watched Mary Poppins Returns.
We did.
And someone of us, I won't say who, has never seen the original Mary Poppins.
That made this one all the more special.
Yeah, it was good. They had like nods every once in a while. One thing I think you would notice is that so when they're trying to get into the bank at the end and they lock the door or whatever, and he says, "Let's go fly a kite." That was like one of the most famous songs from the first one. Is "Let's go
really?
fly a kite up to the highest." So they actually had like a whole bunch of like little nods to the original.
That's cool.
Which is good. It was like, well, it was pretty well done. I was expecting to be disappointed.
It was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good.
I thought it was going to be like bad, but it was good. It was a decent sequel.
I've seen a lot of movies that have come out this year, and that was one of the best ones.
Have you seen a lot? I feel like you don't
I've
see a
seen
lot of current movies.
I
Okay.
go to the movies a lot, especially by myself.
Okay, me too. What's the best movie that you've seen so far this year?
This year, you know what? I'm not sure if it was this year, but recently, last 3 years, all kind of melts together.
Yeah, I bet you've seen like 10 movies in theaters in the last 3 years.
I would say, and everyone would disagree with me, Mother.
Oh yeah, they would. Everyone would disagree.
Everyone
with
hates
you.
that movie but
Yeah.
me, and I hated it the first time, and I went to see it 4 times, and every time was more and more enraging, and that's why I loved it.
Wow.
It was so cool, and I think it's gonna be one of those movies that they study in film classes.
Possible.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. Probably will never see it. It's gonna go good.
But I'll get flack for not seeing Mary Poppins.
Yeah. Well, Mary Poppins everyone's seen. And very few people have seen Mother. I've heard terrible things. You're the first person that actually has said that they liked it.
The original intended meeting, honestly, didn't fly with me. But I got my own meaning out of it, and I took a lot from the movie. The first time I didn't get anything, and I was grossed out. It was a very visceral reaction. So I went to go see it again to find out what that was about.
Okay.
I find that movie fascinating. If you haven't seen it, you should go and watch it.
That's so interesting, that you're basically were repulsed by it, and that made you watch it again.
Yeah. Because I had this reaction in the chair that was nearing panic attack, and that was so interesting about the movie. So, I drew my own meanings from it, but that's apparently, I was totally off. I was so wrong about what it actually was supposed to mean.
Because I only watch movies again if I absolutely love them. Which call me crazy.
I have a lot of time on my hands.
Okay, so our people who may be listening have no idea who you are, and I like to judge people based on the movies that they like.
Oh dear.
So let's hear your top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Starting in
top 7, perfect. And start with number 7 and go, and we'll go up.
So that'd be my least favorite of my favorites.
Yes.
Okay, the worst best movie that I love is the Buffy movie. Called Buffy.
The Buffy movie.
We're starting with number 7.
No, but is that what it's actually called? Is the Buffy movie?
It's called Buffy.
It's called Buffy.
The Vampire Slayer Buffy.
Yeah. And we're talking, is that the original one?
That's the original one with Christy Swanson.
1990 maybe, or what year?
It's rude to ask the age of a movie.
Okay, is it? Well, what about the weight of a movie? I don't know if I've seen the whole thing. I've only seen probably parts of it, large parts of it. but when it was on TV. I really liked the TV show.
TV show is much better. I will give you that.
So I was full title Buffy the Vampire Slayer, 1992.
92. That's when I was born.
Maybe that's why you like it.
It's still a classic.
With Christy Swanson.
Yep.
Yeah. She's actually pretty good. I don't know. I do like Sarah Michelle Gellar better as Buffy, but I was a kid growing up watching that movie or that TV
But
show.
as far as movies go,
Yeah.
it still captures because TV show doesn't count, I guess.
Okay, that's true. Not in this. It doesn't count. Okay. So why do you like it so much?
Buffy, the character Buffy, both Buffy's TV show and movie have always been my hero, I guess.
Yeah. Singular. Yeah. She's one person, one character.
It's so cheesy. The movie is so 90s, so cheesy. They fixed a lot of that in the TV show, but I think it's great, and it embodies the TV show as a springboard for Joss Whedon.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't lose anything from the TV show.
Okay. Is Buffy why you dyed your hair blonde?
Maybe. It could be.
Okay. Cool. Number 6?
Number 6, I would have to say 16 Candles.
Nice.
Probably for the same reason. It's weird and reminiscent, and it's an 80s movie.
Yeah.
Awesome direction, obviously.
John Hughes.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Classic.
And who's the star of it? Pop quiz.
I would know if you hadn't asked me right now.
Yeah, put you on the spot. Can't handle the heat.
That's why I used to have red hair.
Molly
Fun fact.
Ringwald, right?
Molly Ringwald, of course,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
And the guy is... I don't
Unimportant.
know. Unimportant. Okay. I used to know his name. It's like Michael something. Michael, it's like a long one. Anthony Michael Hall.
Anthony Michael Hall. Oh, he's the nerd.
Yeah.
Not the cute guy.
Well, no, that's not. I wasn't saying he was the cute guy. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's not to get it right away.
Excellent. But he's the guy. I mean, look, they show a picture and it's the two of them. I guess there's a third guy, a second guy, a third character. And who's that? Even I don't know who that is.
I would have known Anthony Michael Hall. I did not know Mr. Dark Hair in the car.
Is it this guy, I guess? Michael Shefflin?
Michael Shefflin.
Nice. I'm sure he didn't do anything after that, actually.
That was his claim to fame.
That was his claim to fame, for sure. And why do you like that movie?
It
Nostalgic.
really reminds me of, it's nostalgic.
Reminds you of a time 6 years before you were born.
Exactly. It reminds me of high school. Everything seems so important in the movie at the time on your 16th birthday, but really it's minuscule. But it really captures, how you feel in high school, I guess.
Definitely. John Hughes is really good at that.
Yeah.
In all of his movies.
Yeah.
Cool. Number 5.
Number 5. These are just getting worse and worse, I think.
Good. You don't have to apologize for your
about
list, but...
They get better as we reach number 1.
Okay.
Bridget Jones' Diary.
Bridget Jones' Diary. Nice.
Yeah.
I've never
classic.
seen it, actually. It is a classic.
I would put it on par with Mary Poppins.
Although you've never seen Mary Poppins, sure, yes.
Well, I've seen the sequel now.
Yeah. Never mind me, I'm just doing things. Okay. I'm just monitoring quality control, Sorry. Okay. And are the sequels as good as the first one?
You know what? I just found out literally last night, that there's a second one, but I've seen the third one. So I've seen number 1 and number 3. There's a missing Bridget Jones in the universe that I haven't seen.
You didn't notice? You didn't know?
No, it's seamless. If you watch the first one
between
and
1 and
jump
3?
into the third one, seamless, yeah. 100%. 100%.
I find that hard to believe.
There's a lot to catch up on, but they cover it in, backstory.
Okay.
So I figured it was just some sort of off-screen story. A missing 20 years, if you will.
That's so good.
It was so good. It was very well done. You can cut out the entire second movie and it's still perfect.
That's how you know you did a good job with the sequel, I guess. Yeah.
The first one still stands. Like, it might be, a figment of its time. It's a little dated now.
First one's 1999, I believe.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And it's still, like a reminiscence of, being a singleton in your family. It's hilarious. I think she won an Oscar for that.
Okay.
Did she?
I think she did.
Yeah.
I bet she did.
For a comedy, that's rare.
Fact check real quick. How old were you when you watched it? Because it seems like quite an adult movie, actually, to me.
Exactly, yeah. So I first saw it when I was in high school, so like 16, 17.
And you were already feeling like a single
adult. An old spinster. An old British spinster, yes.
Okay.
If you didn't know me in high school, that's pretty accurate.
I didn't know you in high school. And she was nominated for an Oscar,
yes,
but did not win.
Oh, she deserved it.
2002. I wonder what won for 2002. And why? Okay, you've kind of said why you like it, I guess.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because you relate to it. Sweet. Okay, thank you. So, have any of this that you would like?
Thank you.
I didn't think it would be so large, but I'm happy it is. Yeah, I do like Renee Zellweger.
Oh yeah.
I tried to combine both names into one, unsuccessfully. Yeah. You ever see Cold Mountain?
No.
I believe she did win the Oscar for that
Yeah?
one. Yeah. Best Supporting Actress.
She should have at least one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that was number 5, right?
Okay, that pretty much sums up my entire 20s experience. So that would be, number 5. What's next? I'm going to throw you a curveball.
Number 4 is Curveball.
Christmas Story.
Okay. Very
Have you
nice.
ever seen it?
I have seen it.
Yeah. Ralphie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching that since I was born, every Christmas, and it's just the very definition of happiness. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's your Christmas movie. I knew you had to have one, and since you hadn't seen Home Alone throughout your entire life up to this year, makes sense.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of the movie?
Ralph's little brother is lying in the snow and he can't get up because his suit's so big. He's like, Ralphie, I can't get up. I can't get up.
Yeah.
It simultaneously is so hilarious. It makes me want to cry at the same time. It's so pathetic. I love it.
Okay.
Yeah. Or maybe when... No. Yeah, definitely it's when he gets soap in his mouth. His mom puts soap in his mouth and he daydreams that he goes blind from the soap. And he comes into the house. He's still 11 years old or however old he is, but he's dressed as an old man who's gone blind from soap poisoning. You know, you have those fantasies when you're a kid. It's it's gonna come back and get you the way you treated me.
No, I didn't remember that one though. I had that part.
Do you know that actor who played Ralphie is also an elf? The movie Elf.
Oh, he's in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did
that's
that.
just his thing, I guess, is Christmas movies.
Well, when he was a child, yes. And then it's hard to leave that in your past.
So.
When people like you watch it every year, I guess.
Yeah, typecast. I never would have recognized him though, if I wasn't told.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so that's a classic. That's a must-have every Christmas.
And your favorite Christmas movie of all time, I assume?
Yes, but I do have another Christmas movie on my list.
Higher up.
On par.
Okay,
I would say.
At tie.
Because you can't have one without the other, or it's
Okay.
not Christmas.
Okay.
I guess I'll lead right into It's a Wonderful Life.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's to be expected, I guess.
That to me is the best Christmas movie of all time and one of the best movies of all time.
So I'm right?
Yeah. That's number 3? Or what? Number 4? Number 3?
I guess that's number 3. Yeah, it's number 3.
Very respectable. And I know why I love that film. Why do you like that film?
some reason, I always associate anything from the 1920s to the 1990s, I guess, to be like the ultimate time period.
That's a huge window.
That's a huge window, yeah. Nothing from the 2000s, nothing from the 1800s.
Right, yeah.
No, but it's made in the 20s?
So no.
No?
Much later.
Much later.
But it's interesting to note that for you, the talkies to the 1989 is the same time period.
Yeah.
1946, I believe.
1946. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. With the war, right in the middle of the movie.
Yeah. It was right at the end of the war, but yes, it was shot during the war.
Yeah, Harry goes off to war.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said with A Christmas Story, it's a must-have every year.
Absolutely.
And it's great when you're a kid, and it really makes a lot more sense when you're an adult. Yeah, a little harder to watch when you're grown up.
A little more realistic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, George definitely resonates more when you're an adult.
Yeah.
We're getting sad now. It's January and we're talking about It's a Wonderful Life.
Well, that's fine. Sad. That's fine.
Yeah.
How many actors can you name in that movie?
Actors, not their characters.
Yeah.
Actors, 0. Everything's good here?
Yeah, 0, none at all?
I don't want to ruin it with reality.
Oh, interesting. I actually think it is like reality. Like it's a very realistic film.
The way the angel comes down and shows him his life.
I mean, obviously not that, but every other part of it. All the parts of his life are ultra realistic.
I'd say so.
Yeah. Jimmy Stewart is the lead.
Jimmy Stewart, yes. No, I knew that one. Yeah.
All right, maybe the most famous actor of all time, possibly.
That's arguable.
He's up there.
That's arguable.
He's up there. More people have impressions of him than any other actor. That is not arguable.
What about Christopher Walken? He's not that famous, but everyone has an impression.
Everyone after 1990. Everyone before 1990, Jimmy Stewart.
Which is all the same era, as we established.
Exactly. So, and a much larger era.
Yeah.
And Donna Reed.
Donna Reed. See, I knew these ones.
Yeah, she's incredible in the movie, as I can attest. And, fun fact, did you know the taxi cab driver?
Yeah.
What's the character name?
Ooh, I know this.
The taxi cab driver and the cop.
I don't know. Oh.
Okay.
Put me on the spot.
The cop, his name is Bert.
Bert and Ernie.
Bert and Ernie.
Yeah. No, I just watched it over Christmas, and I was like, really? Did no one edit that at all?
No, and do you know what that's significant for?
Was that pre-Bert and Ernie era? Oh, wow.
And no, but do you get the connection? It's not a coincidence.
Are they a couple?
No. That came after. That came long after.
Okay.
Those guys are not a couple. They're good friends.
Okay.
They're like best friends. And the characters in Sesame Street are based off of those two guys.
Seriously?
Off those characters, yeah.
Is that a fact?
In tribute. And then it was only years and years later, after Sesame Street's been going for a long time, that it was like, oh, they're living together. They must be...
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Positive.
I'm going to fact check.
Fact check. Fact check right now, whatever.
Let's do it. I know my final movies.
Yeah, I promise you that's the truth.
What would I even Google right now?
No, don't do it right now. It'll take too long. But I did fact check Best Actress in 2002, and it was Halle Berry for Monsters Ball. That's the one that year.
Come on.
You don't like Halle Berry?
She's very 2000s. She's very 90s.
That was 2002.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so she would be 2000.
Not a timeless actor.
Okay. But Renee Zellweger is?
I think she lasted longer in the spotlight, and she just made Bridget Jones' Baby.
Who could forget? And the second one, what was that one called?
Apparently, it was.
Yeah.
I think it was something
I rest my case.
The Edge of Reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, I know these things. I just found this out last night.
Well, you've never seen it.
I will.
Not even a little bit.
That's homework.
It's great. Okay. Number 2.
Number 2, we're getting more serious now, is Black Swan.
More sad or less sad?
Darren Aronofsky's Black Swan.
Black Swan. Coming in hot.
Yeah,
2000,
God knows what.
I want to say 2008.
I think it's a bit...
No, 2000.
2010. It's 2010.
Yeah, okay. That was close. But
So
wrong.
it's still relevant.
Okay, so why do you like Black Swan so much?
That is a perfect showcase of fantastic acting and the way that it should be done. Not even just by the two actresses, but the process of the plot line. You know, what the dancer goes through is what real acting, that process is.
Okay.
And I love that movie because it just reminds me of what quality should be. It's
Nice.
a thriller. I've always wanted to be in a thriller. I think I dare say I think I could carry one a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
What actresses are in that movie?
That is Mila Kunis and, oh my god.
This is embarrassing.
So you keep asking me things. I'm on the spot here.
Uh-huh.
You know. We all know.
I know. Everybody listening knows.
Everybody knows.
Do you know?
I didn't know this was going to be such a hard test.
I'm just saying, for an actress, you know, surprisingly few actor
That
and
is actually
actress
my
names.
claim to fame. That's kind of embarrassing. Natalie Portman. That's
Yep,
what's up.
there you go.
Natalie Portman. Yeah, I have seen surprisingly little films and plays for an actor. It's actually embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried.
Which is
I'm
unusual.
trying to catch up.
But why do you think it's so few?
Well, I mean, I try to watch as many as possible, and I love going to the movies, and I love, you know, reading plays, but, you know, there's only so much time in the day, I guess, and whenever I pick a movie, it seems to be the wrong one. You know, I end up watching the third Bridget Jones, for example.
Okay. Okay.
I guess. I don't know. But I also don't want to be so influenced by movies that I can't do my own performance. I don't want to find out that 10 years from now I'm looking back on a movie I made and it's half-ass stolen from something I saw when I was a kid.
That's a good reason. That's a very good reason.
You know, I think an artist should take as much influence as possible because it's just a smart thing to do. It's to be a part of the universe like everybody else, but...
And you learn from those before you, but
Yeah, exactly.
it's really great to do your own thing.
Yeah. That's my excuse.
I think it's a good excuse. Marlon Brando was like that.
Was he?
Yeah, he didn't take in a lot of, but he just started his own, right? He just did it his own way. He changed the world of acting forever.
There, see?
Do you know that?
Somebody else on my side.
Okay.
Marlon Brando's here with me.
Yeah.
I actually found that in my first year of acting school. I started to become like weirdly unnatural and out of place for a while, and I had to like work to get back just being natural on the screen because I got so confused with, you know, technique and the way that things should be done that I lost sight of just, you know, gut instinct. I'm just rambling now.
No, that makes sense. Like, you thought about it too much, basically, right?
Yeah.
Overthinking it.
You overthink it and it gets weird. Acting Wisdom by Laura Abramsen.
There you go. Okay. You did a lot of theater in school?
Oh yeah, I did something like 15 plays in a row.
That's a lot.
Not enough.
So, why is that not enough?
I could do plays until I'm dead.
Okay.
I
Are you
love
in
it.
any plays right now?
Not right now.
What the?
Unfortunately,
Disconnect. How come you're not?
no stage productions as of yet. Well, I just returned.
Okay.
So I'm finally
That
back
sounds
on
like an
planet
excuse.
Vagina. It super is, yeah. Been here for 3 months now.
Yeah,
I'm still
exactly.
unpacking boxes.
Well,
Yeah.
metaphorical boxes.
Ooh,
Ooh, no offense.
you got me. Ooh. Now I'm really in the spotlight.
Yeah. Which do you like better, theater or film?
That is not a nice question.
Oh, really?
It's like picking which parent you love more. You know?
That can be easy in some cases. You'd be surprised.
Well, for lots, I would say it's kind of a stumper.
Stumper.
Theater, I think, is what makes great actors. Film is what puts them on parade.
Well put.
Theater was my first love. That's how I got into acting. But I would say I am more suited to film.
Why?
You know, I'm not an over-the-top person. I can't project my voice. I've been yelled at many times by my professors to just be on sound, but I can't. I'm more low-key, I like to think. I'm more interested in, you know, thrillers like Black Swan and psychological processes, and that shows up a lot better on the screen than it does in theater. Not to say that it doesn't play well, but
Yeah.
I am no singer and I am no dancer, that's for sure.
Okay, fair enough. I worked Cinderella just recently. The Broadway production of Cinderella.
Oh,
It was on, yeah. And it was interesting because, like, I suppose a lot of them are more dancers, and singing comes like first, and then the acting kind of comes in after that. But these are like Broadway level performers, and it was interesting just like watch them perform because it was good, but it was like heightened reality. Like it was like if you I was backstage, right? So I'm not out with the audience. And so to see these people like do this big performance, and if you just focus on one person, it's just like, wow, that is like so far over the top. But it works within the medium, right? So definitely different in that way as well.
See, I'm just not good at it. My hat's off to people who can do it. But I'll never be a Broadway star, I guess.
Neither will most of us.
Shooting for the big screen, which is completely realistic.
Nice. We just learned that, you know, nothing is impossible, right?
We did, and I have a much more positive view on life now. It'll be gone by tomorrow, I guess.
When you become an adult again. Adults always forget the day after. They said that in the movie.
Exactly.
That makes me even more impressed by Mary Poppins, right? By Mary Poppins Returns, I mean.
I can't get over how good that was. I wasn't expecting it to be, and I usually...
What were you expecting? I'm curious.
This is another one of my crimes. I don't like musicals. I was expecting...
I feel like I could sense that, like when it went into the first song number, which is like right, which is like right away, and I was like, oh yeah, in my mind I was like, oh yeah, it's a musical. Like I just forgotten that, like yeah, it would be a musical, and I could like feel you tighten up next to me. Like I was like, oh, and she probably doesn't like musicals. It turns out.
No, but that was great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Okay, number one.
Number one. I guess these didn't get any better as they went along, but I stand by this one and I will until my dying day. I don't care what you say about this next movie. The Outsiders.
Nice.
Right?
I have more respect for that than Black Swan, I'll tell you that.
Well, you'll always be wrong about that, I guess.
No, you like it more than Black Swan.
But it's still on my list.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
You go.
Okay, why do you like Outsiders?
Doesn't everyone love The Outsiders?
I don't think so.
Those people didn't stay gold. That's why they don't like it.
Right. Did you see it in elementary school, I assume?
Yeah, I read it for the first time in grade 7 when I was, God knows what age, grade 7 age, I guess.
I think it's like 11 or 12.
Yeah, something like that. So I was super psyched when I turned 14 and I was Ponyboy's age. I was fucking obsessed with it.
You were just fucking ready to stay gold, right?
Yeah. I did, and now I have a degree in the arts, which kind of, you know, wish I hadn't stayed gold a little bit. Maybe like a brass.
So,
did you know that there's a very cut version, like there's a very short version of that movie, and that's what's like readily available to the public. And then there's the extended version, which is like twice the price, but so worth it. Has all the original scenes. Yeah, exactly. It has all the original scenes, and it completely adds in a whole other storyline. And it pretty much adds in another character. That was Lost.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I own both, of course.
Wow.
It's my favorite movie.
Can I borrow the long version sometime? No, you're too. That was a very long pause. You're like, you got your clutches around it too tightly. You can't release it. Fair
I
enough.
carry it with me everywhere I go.
Fair enough. Refuses to let it out of her sight.
It's important to me that everyone see it, so I guess.
But not by way of you lending it to them. Impossible.
We'll have to draw up a contract.
Okay. I'm very good with things that I borrowed.
I hope so.
I am.
Especially with movies. Your film degree.
I don't have a degree. I didn't go to university. I went to film school proper.
Isn't that where we met?
No.
I always just kind of think you've always been with me. There was no time without Cory. It was just Cory was there and...
Nice. Cool.
And so was the sun and moon.
We met on a university
Okay, yeah. Sabbatical.
campus.
We met on the set.
Yeah, but that wasn't like a university film.
Well, it was Brian Stockton. I associate it with my university days.
Yeah. But he's not a student, right?
Not anymore.
He wasn't at the time that he made that movie either.
He was on a sabbatical.
And people say work is autobiographical. I don't believe him.
You don't believe it?
No, I was kidding. That was sarcasm. Because he made a movie about a sabbatical while he was on sabbatical.
Oh, is that what you did?
I thought it was kind of obvious, but
Okay.
in
Gotcha.
retrospect, maybe not.
That was hilarious.
Go ahead. Yeah. Was that your first film you ever worked on?
Sabbatical? It was my first feature film I ever worked on.
Okay.
Before that, I'd done shorts. Some I can mention, some I won't.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I must have done... I did do a short film every weekend for an entire school year.
Wow.
I was nonstop, and I've been burnt out ever since. I'm still sleeping it off.
Okay.
It's been 5 years or sometime like that. I'm still sleeping it off. Yeah, the first one I ever made was this really dumb one. I hope the makers are not listening right now.
I highly doubt they would be.
It's so funny, actually. It's so ironic. You'll love this story. I play a girl who's from Saskatchewan and is packing up her car to move to Toronto.
Right.
And she carries a picture of Toronto in her vehicle. The vehicle breaks down the side of the road, and she talks to a hobo who just appears out of nowhere. If you watch this movie, there's no, like,
Reason for
setup
the...
of him walking down the road. There's no, like, insert to tell you, this character's coming. He just appears on screen. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And imparts his wisdom about how beautiful Saskatchewan is. So he fixes her car, and she gets it running. She gets back on the road towards Toronto. And she stops in the middle of a field, and she's like, oh, fuck, this place is beautiful. I do love Saskatchewan. Maybe I don't want to go to Toronto. And years later, that's exactly what I did, which was pack up my shit with Toronto in aim and completely miss Saskatchewan so much that I had to turn around.
But you weren't in a vehicle, though.
No, I guess I took a plane for that one, being 2015.
Right, okay.
I think that's hilarious. That was my first short film, and I came full circle.
Mm-hmm.
My next one was Mr. Matt Yim's April Doesn't Hurt Here.
Oh, I thought that's the one you were actually talking about right there.
No. I always think that's my first one, but it's not my first one.
It just goes to show that like all the film students in that class were just thinking about going to Toronto.
Yeah, exactly.
And most of them did.
Matt was doing sound for that first one, and that's how he found me.
Nice.
Yeah. We've completely gotten off track of The Outsiders entirely.
No, what was that first one called?
What was that first one called? Oh my god. I have no idea.
And what did you learn from it?
To never leave Saskatchewan.
No, you didn't learn that because you did leave Saskatchewan.
Well, lesson learned
So
twice.
what did you actually learn from working on that one? Remember?
I stand by my lesson.
Okay.
I'd say so.
But you didn't really learn it. because you still left Saskatchewan anyways, and then you know what I mean. Like you learned it, but you learned it the hard way long after the film. So you didn't actually learn it.
That's how I do everything.
Okay.
The hard way, long after the fact.
Okay. But you didn't learn anything like acting-wise, or?
Well, it was my first film, so I learned how to behave on set. I learned how to prepare for the role. I learned how to speak to the crew. I mean, if you think about it, I learned everything there is to know about film acting. That's a really cocky thing to say.
Yeah, it is really.
I mean the basics. I mean the bare cement ground floor, you know.
Yeah, okay. And especially because it's hard to learn properly how to be on set from a university crew that's never been on set themselves. I would be very surprised.
Even through the sets that I've been on in Toronto, U of R does it best. Honestly.
Oh, you're such a liar.
I'm not, and that's what shocked me.
I will take no obligation for the statements that are made on this program. The opinions expressed do not represent my opinions.
Honest. I've been completely honest. I believe the U of R, with, flaws of the whole I'm just digging myself a grave right now.
No, there's flaws. For sure there is.
But I think they train their film students well. They know how to deal with actors. They know how to talk to them. They know what steps to take. I've never been left behind on a U of R set.
Okay. Interesting. That's surprising.
Yeah.
Okay, The Outsiders. Why do you like The Outsiders so much?
Even without the movie, the book was, gold. But the movie...
Okay, you can't say that enough.
Well, it's so easy. The movie's a who's who of, the best actors ever. You got Patrick Swayze, you got Tom Cruise, you got Rob Lowe, which, he's still kicking around doing awesome stuff, but, he was, a big thing in his day. He's a grandpa.
No, his day, he is a grandpa.
No, he's amazing. It's fantastic. Emilio Estevez.
Yeah.
You got Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid.
Right.
Could you do better casting? I think not. Matt Dillon. I'm just naming everyone in the cast.
Yeah.
But
this
is
by far the most actors you have known in a movie ever.
C. Thomas Howell being, the best looking of them all.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I don't even know which one that is.
100%. He's Pony Boy.
That doesn't conjure a memory in my head. I thought Pony Boy was Macchio. Who did he play?
No. That's Johnny. He does a very good Johnny. It's like he fell out of the book. It was so accurate to the book,
okay,
too.
have you seen this guy now that he's older?
Yeah.
Because I see him now and it's like, okay, yeah. But his picture now is he looks completely different.
Gold,
okay. Wow. But he was good when he was in Red Dawn. He was in lots of cool things.
They all went off to do awesome things.
Wow, he's the hottest, you say?
You know what? I dare say the worst person in that movie is Tom Cruise.
He might be. It was early, but obviously he peaked much later and higher than all the others.
But the thing about that is he played the least liked character. And he did it so well that I didn't like him. So maybe he did do a good job.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love how you convinced yourself on that one. I didn't even have to do the heavy work.
I'm a fair talker. I'm a fair thinker.
Okay, except for when you talked about U of R sets. But yes. Okay.
Gold.
Well, and you watched the movie obviously after you had read the book.
After I'd read the book.
So do you not believe that affects your interpretation of the movie?
Well, usually when you read a book and then watch the movie, it's a tiny little bit of a letdown, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it can never be as good as the book because the book is fleshed out in every detail.
Yeah, or a lot of a letdown, but yes.
Yeah, and you build it up so high in your head that it can't possibly, fulfill what you thought. But I thought The Outsiders did a great job of that.
Doing good, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else I can grab you right now?
Yeah, water would be great, and I'm going to get this packed up because it's
for sure.
Oh, it's way more than I thought. Do you want any of it for?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
Pack her all up, you bet. Did you want anything for dessert at all? No.
I do, but I shouldn't, so. Yeah, what were you saying? Yes, you'd read the book.
Is just as good as the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The longer version, though, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Even the longer version is still missing a few deleted scenes.
Yeah.
But I guess you can't have it all. You can't have every page on the screen.
Yep, that's right. Who directed The Outsiders?
That was Francis Ford Coppola.
Very well done.
I
Nice.
know too much about this movie.
This is clearly your favorite movie because you know by far the most
I've
about this
watched
movie.
it too many times.
Wow. Okay. So, good. One thing I wanted to ask you is, what's good advice that you've gotten from directors, and what's like bad advice that you've gotten from directors?
Oh, man.
What's good direction and what's bad direction?
Wow, that's a good question. I guess I'm trying to think of specific examples, but I would tell any director that when you're talking to actors, I've had a lot of experiences where I'm told to play an emotion.
Such as?
You know, you're really sad in this scene, or, you know, you're really scared, or, you know.
Yeah.
It sounds common sense, and we do speak English, you know, like that makes sense to us. But the thing about that is actors are trained never, ever, 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 ever play an emotion. Because it's hollow, it's fake, and you might as well be up there with a spotlight by yourself because you don't need the other actors or props or anything in the scene. Because you're just in your own head as an actor trying to make yourself sad if that's been the direction.
Right.
So we have to translate that as actors on set to, okay, so we need to get to a place of being sad, which means that whatever trigger I'm being handed as an actor from the other person has to set me off in a certain way that my next tactic, you know, would have a side effect of being sad.
Right, yeah.
So there's a whole other list of steps that goes along with that. That to tell a person to be sad is like tell a person to walk to Peru, you know, like technically you could, yes, but that's not the best way to get there.
Okay.
Good direction. I've had a lot of good direction. One director that I had on a set that was getting to be the end of the day, and one of the actors just, you know, wasn't.
Is he here? Do you need the machine brought around?
Yes.
Okay, I'll be back with that as well.
Thanks.
Ladies?
One of the actors, you know, was struggling, and he was having a hard time communicating with her to get where we needed to be to finish the scene.
Okay.
So instead of going back to her and saying, no, I need you to do it like this, I need you to do it like that, he came to me and used me as almost like a chess piece to then push her.
Like a pawn.
Exactly, but in a good way.
Or you're saying
Because-
more like a rook.
I have the power in the scene to make something come out of her, right? Because if I'm trying to get a rise out of you, the stakes are going to go right up, and I'm going to have a goal in mind, and she's going to be reacting to that and playing off of me. So if you're having trouble with a specific actor, I would take the person opposite them and tell them, you know, what kind of push they need to give in order to get the rise of the other person. Because you cannot create something out of thin air, you have to get it from somebody else, and that's what acting is.
Right. Okay.
If that makes any sense at all.
I think so. And so for example, in a scene where you're told to be sad, what would you rather hear? What would be the actual direction be like? What would be an example of that?
The best way to remind an actor of where they need to be is reminding them of their given circumstances, you know, like where they've just come from and who these people mean to them. They should know that as actors, but, you know, sometimes we need reminding or adjusting depending on what the director's vision is.
Okay. And you wouldn't personally like take offense to that if
Absolutely not. No,
okay.
no. That's something you want to hear as an actor, because I was always raised in theater school that if you're not being given direction, you're a lost cause. If you don't hear anything, that's deadly.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you're in your grave.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Always be as vocal as possible with actors. We want to hear it.
Okay, cool.
Feed our egos. Starving.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Okay, and finally, that's all been great. What I want to know, what movie or Yeah, movie, not TV show, because TV shows are not as good. They're inferior, I would say. What movie are you most looking forward to seeing in the future?
In the future, that would require me to have some sort of
Plan for
link
the future,
with
right?
Oh dear. What is even coming out right now?
Yeah. Okay. Do you have a TV show then?
You know what? Even though it just came out, I'm so excited for the next Fantastic Beasts.
I thought you just saw it.
There's a second one, but there's going to be about 5 of them. I'm guessing.
Oh,
there's
wow.
going to be a whole series of them.
So you're looking
Yeah.
way in the future there.
I
Okay.
made that number up. But yeah, like it should be the next, I don't know, hopefully year.
Okay. Name an actor in the first Fantastic Beasts.
Eddie Redmayne.
Right.
I had
Name
that
the
one ready.
second one.
Actor number 2.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.